If you like this video, click like. If you want to continue to follow our adventure, hit subscribe. Your support would be greatly appreciated.
Hello, Lives on the Road subscribers and followers. I got a story I wanted to tell you about coming out of the mountains in West Virginia. But before I do that, a lot of you know that I was on a submarine. I mean, I've made a video about it. I told you about myself. And in that video, I explained I was on a submarine for 4 years. I was stationed in Washington State. Now, for anybody who doesn't really know anything about Washington State, it rains a lot in Washington State. I mean, it's cloudy and rainy all the time. Very cool. And I got two stories I want to share with you quickly about Washington State. So, I left on a submarine. I got on the submarine and we left Washington State. We were out in the sea for several months, or several weeks, and we had to go to Hawaii. Now, what I'm getting ready to tell you is an extreme condition, but it's similar to what I had experienced earlier this week. So, anyway, we went to Hawaii, and when we popped that hatch, I don't know how to explain this to you. When we popped the hatch, and I came out of the submarine, the feeling, the extreme feeling difference of coming from Washington to Hawaii, it was like, oh, wow. I mean, it was just incredible feeling. It felt so good, that sun beating down on your face. Well, the thing is when I came out of the submarine, I didn't make that connection. I didn't make it. What I thought was, being trapped inside of a submarine for several weeks, it was just a relief to come out. I didn't recognize that there was this. What I was really feeling was the difference between the climate in Washington and the climate in Hawaii. And to further this Washington conversation, when I finally got out of the Navy, I was missing something, but I couldn't put my finger on what it is what I was missing. I just couldn't figure it out. It rained all the time, rarely snowed in Bremerton, Washington. Well, it was Silverdale, Washington. Rarely snowed. The sun came out rarely. It just rained a lot. It was just always rain. Just rain, rain, rain. So, when I got out of the Navy, went back home to Missouri. And as soon as I got back to Missouri, I realized what it is I was missing. I was missing seasons. The 4 seasons, summer, fall, winter, spring. Because Washington basically has one season, rain. And kind of chilly. That's pretty much what you get. I had a white truck, white Ford Ranger. It was white, and it was impossible to keep it clean. It always had dirt because it was always raining. Okay, so fast forward 22, 3 years, whatever. And here we are, we're in the mountains of Virginia and West Virginia all summer. And I guess I was expecting temperatures in the 70s, mild. It was just, I didn't want to stay in the heated areas, so we went into the mountains of Washington, or Virginia and West Virginia. And the longer we were there, I say that, it's not true. I think there was a few days where, we got up into the 80s, but mostly it was just rain and chilly. Rain and chilly. Most of the time we were there. And as we got further into when we got into September, it got down into the 40s at night and would barely, it wouldn't even get out of the 50s during the day. And it rained all the time. We could actually started to see the season change. I don't know if you can see any trees behind me, but here we are in South Carolina and the leaves haven't changed. But in West Virginia, in those mountains, it was turning fall. I mean, it was fall. I think I made a video to that already, so I'll put a link to that here. So, you know, it's just cold and wet and nasty, and I'm not complaining. I mean, it was very pleasurable, and we enjoyed it, and we will go back to Virginia, but it was just not what we expected. So, it's time to go. We're heading down to the South Carolina, and as we're driving, you know, you can see the temperature gauge is getting a little, you know, the thermometer, the outside temperature, it's going up. You know, it started out in the 60s, and then it went up to 70s, and then it's in the 80s. You can just watch it. Well, over time, of course, you turn on the air conditioner and it's starting to get a little hot in the truck, but you don't think anything about it. So, anyway, finally it's time to get some gas, and we're well out of Virginia. I think we're actually in North Carolina by this point, and we're down the mountain. It was really, I wish I'd have recorded it, but it was a really steep and long, I think it was 12 miles long, 9% downgrade. And quite the ride, and boy, your ears are popping, you know, because the pressure changed. And so we're getting down there. Well, we finally have to pull over to get gas. So we stop, and we decide we're going to eat Chinese restaurant, and we get out of the truck. And I had a huge deja vu. Not a real deja vu, more of a self-made deja vu, but nonetheless, for lack of a better word, I had a deja vu. When I popped that hatch on the submarine, when I came out of that hatch on that submarine, and the feeling I had of the temperature, well, the same thing. I popped open the door on the truck and I got out, and it was almost like I could remember an old smell. It was what it felt like. I came out of that truck and I thought, whoa, what a difference. It was a huge difference. You know, it was, you know, 60, well, I think it was in the 50s when we left. And here we are, it's in the 80s, humid. It was amazing is what it was. And immediately, my brain went to Hawaii. Now, I recognize South Carolina's temperatures and humidity and all that is nothing compared to Hawaii. But my brain definitely said, I'm back in Hawaii. The extreme temperature change from West Virginia to South Carolina triggered that thought of the extreme temperature change between Washington and Hawaii. So to continue this, I told you that when, you know, went back to Missouri, there was that season change thing. You know, all of a sudden we have 4 seasons. We didn't have 4 seasons. Well, this whole response, this whole memory, this whole deja vu thing also said, wait a minute, this feels like when I went back home to Missouri. So here I've thought about, all in the same thought process. I thought about how we opened that hatch on that submarine, and then I thought about when I made the revelation that I understood what it was I was missing when I lived in Washington. I was missing seasons. Well, when I came out of the mountains down to South Carolina, I realized I was missing something. I didn't realize it when I was up there, but I was missing something. I was missing summer, a season. I was missing it. It was gone. And then when we came out of that, you know, because really we had been in a spring, fall situation. It was springtime and then it was fall time when we were in those mountains. There was really no summer. Well, I came down to here, South Carolina, well, in that case, North Carolina, and here it is, summer, full force, boom. I had missed a whole season. And so, I mean, it was just a really neat experience. And I really hope that when you guys come out here, or if you choose to come out here, I should say, that you get to experience that, because that was just thrilling. That was just really exciting. It was, you know, I'm not complaining about the temperatures in Virginia, but it was an experience that I hope I get to have again, where I've gotten used to a climate, and it's like, okay, this climate's fun, but I'm ready to change. You know, maybe Arizona will be that way. You know, it's always hot. Maybe it'll be that way, and then when I go north to, I don't know, South Carolina or South Dakota, maybe that I'll get it again. But I want to have that experience again. It was so neat. It was just like, wow, look at this. And even though, see, if I'd have just went to West Virginia and then down to South Carolina, say in a 2-week period, I wouldn't have experienced it. It wouldn't have been like, wow, South Carolina is really cool. No, it would have been, okay, here's South Carolina. You know, I drove through, and here it is, South Carolina. But no, when I got here, it was like, wow, South Carolina, it's got a summer. It was so neat. It was really neat. The other thing that was really neat about South Carolina, remember, we went to Florida in March, April. So it was pretty cold back home in Missouri. And here it is, you know, it's 90 degrees in Florida. South Carolina, I want to tell everybody, is just an amazing place. And it reminds me a lot of Florida. I mean, it has its own specific things that Florida doesn't have, but it is a lot like Florida. Right here just south of Myrtle Beach. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you because it was really neat experience, and I hope everybody gets to experience this extreme season change. That's maybe what we'll call it, an extreme season change, where you're in fall and all of a sudden, boom, today I'm in summer. So maybe it would be like, you know, leaving South Carolina in a plane heading to Alaska, and I don't know, and it's, you know, 30 degrees. It's an extreme temperature change, a season change all of a sudden. So anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.